You are weird, normal, and perfect. The weird part you had to be, you probably have felt that from the time you were born because you had to be weird because there's nobody like you. You were born to be something that was completely different. But because of that, it could have been really difficult for you not to understand how perfect you were. And so my life was meant to tell you that you were perfect because we all come to the world to do something. This was mine. I'm going to talk about it today because that is the title of a message that I received from Wilhelm on this date, on the 16th of 2017. And there's an alignment in the universe. And so I knew that I was supposed to talk about it today because we have to become willing to own who we are. You will live your best life when you become your authentic self, but that is always the journey. And you may not get there if you still keep thinking that you're weird. And I can say that because I held on to that for the longest time. But I'm going to read you that message and then I'm going to explain the rest of it because I also did a Wilhelm channeling session yesterday. We had a full moon. It was really powerful, and whenever that happens, a lot of information comes through. We may not all make the connection between energy and our emotions and information, but it's there, trust me. And I will show you a little bit of that. But first of all, let me show you the message from 2016, and you'll understand a little bit more of what I mean. And it is, you are weird, normal, and perfect. And when you accept that fact, everything you desire will be delivered to you. You were struck by a comment that caused you to question some of your actions in the past. The judgment that was made had you think you were indeed weird because you did things only be able to experience love. Now, then, this is normal because that is innately who you are and have always been. You always knew, even if only subconsciously, that the power of love or that experience and state of being would cause you to feel powerful because there is no higher power than that. So now you see all of you is perfect. So decide to accept and embrace you fully. Now, that was the message that came through on that date in 2017. And then right after that, I sold my business. I'm serious. People couldn't understand why are you doing this? I had had this incredibly successful vocal coaching business for years and years. And so, but this information that started coming through, I knew that I needed to move in a different direction, but I was hesitant. It was 2017. It took years. And then because I needed to know what was happening because it didn't make sense to me. Because I've been hiding. You've hidden as well. We always hide because we don't know that other thing that we're supposed to do because it's always out in front of us. And we have to use our consciousness to see it, to develop it, and then start to embrace it. So I've been doing that a long time. So obviously that was what I was meant to do in this world. But accepting that was another challenge for me. And I found another message that you will appreciate because you've been hiding as well. We all do. Because, see, that next great thing that we're going to do is always outside of us. So it doesn't matter how much you've done before. Even if you're a billionaire or something, you want more. We just want to know that we have done something or that we have expanded. But the only reason we don't do that is that we keep believing that we're weird and we hold ourselves back. I can say that because I did it. Coming into the world and telling everyone, listen, I brought a new philosophy, you're not going to believe that because it's outside of the realm of what we have known, what I had experienced. So it was challenging. But this one will help you because we all do this to a certain degree. Now, here's the message. It came through in 2014. And this is going to be for all of you because we all do it. Stop attempting to hide from yourself. Yes, that was meant as a directive and an important and powerful one. You have known that in order to expand and become the actualized being you desire, it is important for you to become willing to be vulnerable. You have only taken this idea halfway, so to speak, meaning that you have applied it to becoming open and vulnerable to others, but have neglected to apply it to yourself, which is where it really matters. You recently noticed and were surprised by hidden feelings you held about yourself that suddenly surfaced. They surprised you because you have attempted to cover them up or hide from them. Then they take on a life of their own and eat away at your sense of self and well-being. Seek to feel the feelings so they come to light and you can dissipate them and move beyond them. And again, like I said, that's for every single person because we all do the same thing. Every human born has the same ability. We could change the world if we kept going in that direction because we know that we can direct energy and thought and consciousness and all that, but we may not want to take on that role because the role that we're supposed to have is the one that you were given at birth. Mine was obviously to help you know yours because that's why I know that you're perfect. And it was hard for me to, difficult, I should say, for me to accept that. And it's been years. But again, I knew what was happening in our world because Wilhelm had given me this information. We exist in different states of consciousness. When I'm channeling Wilhelm, when I've been writing all of those things, I didn't know all of that information. I had no clue as what was happening. And then I discovered, wait a minute, it's turned into a philosophy and it was meant for this time in our world because you can see what's happened. But Wilhelm said this is a generational change. And so every person is going to be moved somehow energetically. And so then our emotions come up, our feelings, ideologies, and all of that. And so then Wilhelm says, well, we gave you something that could help your world move into a different place. And I thought, that doesn't make sense. But then it was proven to me because when I started getting the information, I started in 1989 and it healed. I mean, I went through everything that you can possibly imagine. So that's why I know what you can do. So it's, any excuse that you have, I know that it's just an excuse because I held them all. So I do understand. And that was the life that I had, that I lived. No one else has to do that because that's how we evolve. We give stuff to others. But we're at a place now where we're moving through a generational change. And so what I was told, and you can see it in all the channeling sessions, and is that this new philosophy was going to do something different. It was going to give each person the ability to understand who they are, to understand their worth and value, and then pass that on to others so that we start creating a different society, a different civilization. I said, that's too much. I can't do that. And they kept telling me, you came to be loved. And when they would send me that information, I would just put it away because I said, that's too weak, until I understood energy and I knew that there was the strongest thing that could ever happen. I was thinking the other day, there was a while ago, Michelle Obama here in the U.S. She was our former first lady, and she said when things were getting really contentious, she said when they go low, you go high, we go high, and people said, well, that doesn't do anything, and that's because they didn't understand science. You see, because when you're carrying around hatred and anger about yourself or anyone else, it's debilitating to your body. And so you're going to be stressed and you're never going to achieve what you want in your life. So then you decide, am I going to stay in the insanity or am I going to decide that I'm going to love myself and do what I came to the world to do? And sometimes getting to that perfect takes a while. I only did it yesterday. You see, because what happened when I did that channeling session, we thought something had happened and the recording wasn't there. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to do something else. And I'm looking at everything. And the message that I received was about that there are no accidents in any situation. You can always move in another direction if you get a hold of your consciousness. And I know that, but doing it in that moment was like challenging. And then we found the recording later, and it's out there, and I'd love for you to hear it. But in the meantime, what happened? I pick up my phone, and I'm saying this because nothing is accidental. We think that is happening, but we're always being guided or being shown things. We just attempt to ignore it, and that goes on. I did that quite a bit, so I do understand. But I pick up my phone, and I noticed that there was a message and an email, an outgoing email that had never gone. I go, why is that there? I looked at it, and it was a video and it was from a Wilhelm session called the Lionsgate that was held on August the 8th of 2022. And I listened to that and I thought, oh, wow, I guess I should have told people about that one. Because, see, when you listen to it, you'll understand yourself a lot more. You would even understand what's been happening in the world. You wouldn't be quite as afraid. And guess what? That was said in that session as well. Because I don't remember them all, and then I hide from myself just as you have. That place where you don't want to be seen. That's why I keep talking about, Jim Carrey, who gave me that wonderful line. The problem with most people is they don't want to be seen. Well, I'm going to be seen now. At 74, I think I'm going to change that, but it for a different reason, because I know that what is going to come up in our world, and we change things when we decide to own who we are and put a different kind of energy into our lives and into the world, and that is self-ownership. Everything that Wilhelm has given me, and you know this from seeing all the work that they've laid out, is about self-empowerment, self-actualization. So you know how to live your life, and we're not creating societies where people don't know who they are. That's what this information was, and that's why they said it's a new philosophy. And that was challenging for others to understand. But I'm saying this mainly, a lot of people don't watch these videos, and that's intentional. Part of my self-sabotage is that if I keep myself hidden, then I don't have to be out there. You've probably heard that in one of the videos because Wilhelm said Roger knew he had everything, but if he told people, then he might get too many people coming in. I know that's not going to happen because most people won't believe it because we can't get over that thing of thinking we can be that great. And so when I first started and people saw what this was and they said, you should be charging $5,000. I never changed. I never did anything, but now I am. Because next year that's what it's going to be, which is why I did my special offer, what I called my Cyber Monday offer that's lasting for the end of the year, because then I'm taking this time and completing so much of this work. And I'm saying this for the people. Listen, this is for people in my program. People know me, probably my family, because no one could understand what I was doing all this time. But I was creating a philosophy that could change the world because it changes your life. Think about that. If more people knew who they were and could love themselves and not be afraid of who they were, don't you think that that would make a better world? Well, that's what Wilhelm kept saying to me, and I said, I can't do it. And when you listen to these videos, you will hear them say it again, especially the one from 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But I'm saying it because you have done the same thing. Otherwise, you would not be listening to me. You would be out doing something really tremendous. Or maybe you are, and this is just, helping you because that's great too. If you're just listening for more reinforcement, I love doing that because what I love doing is giving people confirmation. See, that's what I do when I'm doing a challenge session or a private one. I'm giving you confirmation. You probably heard that yesterday with Wilhelm. They don't tell you what to do. They just guide you into opening up to who you can become because their premise is every single person is born with worth and value and a valuable person purpose, and it's within them. I doubted that too until they started showing me how they gave me messages for anyone's birthday in 2012. That made no sense until I started seeing the alignment. There's alignment in the universe, and then I started seeing that the collection of messages that I were given had a theme over years and years and years. That's how your consciousness changes as well individually, but that's also how the consciousness of our world changes. And we're moving through that now. And the way that it gets better is when you decide to love yourself. And that's why I'm giving you this. I'll leave the links for those sessions because you can listen to both of them. They will really give you a lot. And please subscribe to the channel. And I put other things on the channel that you can get. And also on my website, I've written many articles because I always like to give more information and education because this is probably the last video I'm doing this year because next year I'm only working on this and the channeling sessions. There'll be one on the 21st and another one on the 30th, but that's going to be probably it. It's time for us all to take that next step, and that was the message that came out today from Wilhelm. Now you can become wealthy. See, wealth is who you are when you start to, it's an energy. It's not necessarily money, and it's not all that. It's about the energy that you decide to own, and because it's who you were born to be. They're no insignificant people born. I keep hearing that. Well, they say that all the time. There are no insignificant souls ever born. It's just in your thoughts. That's all. So you'll love these two sessions that I'm going to leave here. Watch all of them. Check out the program, check out the work. It'll always be available, but next year it's going to be a lot more because I know that I have to start going to that other level because otherwise people think it's not worth anything, even though the results you're seeing. But again, we've got to break through our resistance to becoming ourselves, and that's what I'm doing. You will too. If I don't talk to you before, have wonderful holidays, whatever that might be. I'll send out other things, but I just want to say that now. But please enjoy these sessions because they will change you. Think it's going to change your consciousness. All right. See you soon.